I am Cam Rogers. Hope your day is going swell so far. We thank you for taking the time out of your day to tune in right now. Let's take a look at the Week 2 picks. And guys, I'm coming off a brutal week where I went 7-8 on the week, and it was just bad. And I got last night's pick wrong. I went with the Baltimore Ravens. Silly me for trusting in Joe Flacco at Paul Brown Stadium. But I'm bouncing back. And by the way, I want you guys voting throughout the show in terms of who you think will win these games. So let's start things off with the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. Our friends at BetDSI give us the latest odds here. The Falcons are the favorite by 6, over-under set at 44.5 there. 1 o'clock game in Atlanta. So the Panthers are coming off a victory, ugly one, against the Dallas Cowboys, while the Atlanta Falcons are coming off a restful mini-bye, if you will, because they played on the Thursday night opener against the Philadelphia Eagles. They lost in a defensive slugfest, if you will. Tough game to predict here. NFC South rivals. Usually the Panthers and the Falcons kind of split in terms of their matchups year in and year out because they're just so evenly matched. They're both potential playoff teams. I would not be shocked to see both these teams in the postseason, to be honest with you. I projected Atlanta to be a wild card team this year. I actually think Carolina doesn't make the playoffs. With that said, I'm starting to get concerned about the defense for Atlanta, particularly because of injuries. Canu Neal, the safety back there, and Deion Jones, the linebacker, both going to miss significant time. The pressure is on these offensive players for Atlanta: Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Alex Mack against K'Wan Short and that good front seven there for Atlanta. For Carolina. I actually think the Panthers win this game. 23-17. I think it's a tight defensive struggle, even though it's not in Carolina. It's in Atlanta. I still think the Panthers get this victory here. Even though it was an ugly win last week, the Panthers have an ability to even make the most prolific offenses out there look average. And I think that's what Carolina will do this week. I think they get after Matt Ryan. What did you see from the Falcons in week 1 that tells you that they're going to win this game? Because Steve Sarkisian continues to mess up. Matt Ryan continues to have struggles in the red zone. I have no faith in the Falcons offense right now, and I'm not wavering from my projection that the Falcons are going to make the playoffs, but they got to figure things out here. And it's still early in the season. I like Carolina in this game. Tight one, 23-17. Washington taking on the Indianapolis Colts after a very convincing win at the Big Toaster last week. The Redskins are now a big-time favorite, 6.5 against the Indianapolis Colts here, a Colts team that hung in there tight against the Cincinnati Bengals in week 1. Boy, Adrian Peterson looked pretty darn good. And if he can handle a 25 to 30 carry workload the entire season, this guy is superhuman. And we've seen Adrian Peterson defy the odds before, so would not be shocked to see him be the true bell cow back that he used to be this season in 2018. So for Washington, a lot of optimism there on that offense. Meanwhile, with Indianapolis, not so much talent on that defensive side. I think Washington exploits that secondary. Maybe Andrew Luck can keep it close, put up 27 points. I like the Redskins in this game, 35-27. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair, quite a shootout there in Landover, Maryland. It's a 1 o'clock Eastern time game there, so give me Washington to take down Indianapolis. I think the Colts are just very short-armed in terms of talent on defense and really on offense as well. Big game here, Titans, Texans. The Texans are the road favorites by 2 here. Now, there were some question marks about the health of Marcus Mariota. He'll be good to go. So it's Mariota versus Deshaun Watson. Could see a good amount of points in this game, this one in Nashville. I still like the Titans a lot. Despite the loss to the Miami Dolphins a week ago, I think the Tennessee Titans will still win the AFC South. They have really good talent on that defensive side, especially on that front seven with Orakpo and Morgan and Jarrell Casey. They can control the line of scrimmage, and if Tennessee just runs the football well, and if Marcus Mariota can be better than average, that would be fantastic. I still have it as a tight battle here. 20-16, the Titans win this game. Houston Texans, road favorites, bad offensive line, looked kind of iffy against the New England Patriots in week 1. I still think Deshaun Watson has some rust to kind of shrug off, if you will. So I'll go with the Tennessee Titans in this football game. And you should be going with Mizzen and Maine when you dress nicely out there. Comfortable.af is the website. I am wearing one of their shirts right here, right now. You can get this exact model. This is my small trim fit version. Comfortable.af is the way to go to get these fantastic dress shirts. All right, Ryan Fitzpatrick versus Nick Foles. A dream quarterback matchup. Your defending Super Bowl champions are the favorites on the road by 3 against Tampa Bay. And if you watched last week, you might want to hammer the over there. Over-under set at 44. Tampa Bay put up a lot of points, surprisingly, against the New Orleans Saints, which is a team that has a really good secondary. Philadelphia probably has the better front seven on the defensive side. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Philadelphia this week. Now, how about Ryan Fitzpatrick? 3 quarterbacks, Drew Brees, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Phillip Rivers, each threw for at least 400 yards on kickoff weekend. With 400 yards passing in week 2, Brees, Rivers, and Fitzpatrick can join Tom Brady and Cam Newton as the only quarterbacks to throw for at least 400 yards in each of their team's first 2 games of a season in NFL history. We're talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick possibly in the same company as 2 MVP quarterbacks, Tom Brady and Cam Newton. Welcome to the NFL of 2018. I don't know the NFL anymore, but you see I'm going Philadelphia, 25-17. I think this front seven for the Eagles will eat on that offensive line for Tampa Bay. They'll stop the run. That forces Fitzpatrick to throw the football too many times for Tampa Bay's liking. I'll go with Philadelphia on the road here. Can Ryan Fitzmagic really repeat last week's performance? That's where I have my question marks. Huge game in the early window here. Chiefs, Steelers could come down to a tiebreaker later in the year for playoff positioning, if you will. We'll see. Pittsburgh, the favorite by 4 here. What a game for Patrick Mahomes a week ago. Absolutely shredded a really good Chargers defense. Now, albeit Tyreek Hill did a lot of that work for Patrick Mahomes last week, but still, he was poised. He was solid. 4 touchdowns throwing for Mahomes. Meanwhile, Ben Roethlisberger could make some history. By the way, dealing with an injury, we'll see if he'll be 100%. But he has 51,400 career passing yards in his 15-year NFL career. With 76 yards passing on Sunday against the Chiefs, Roethlisberger will surpass Pro Football Hall of Famer John Elway for the 7th most passing yards in NFL history. Manning, of course, number 1 on that list. Peyton, that is. 2 quarterbacks, Fitzpatrick and Patrick Mahomes, each threw for 4 touchdown passes in week 1. So with 4 touchdown passes in week 2, Fitzpatrick and Mahomes would join Drew Bledsoe in 1997 as the only quarterbacks to throw for at least 4 touchdowns in each of their team's first 2 games in NFL history. Now, like I said, Ben Roethlisberger is dealing with some injuries right now. So our friends at BetDSI recently released these odds. Will Ben Roethlisberger start in week 2 versus the Chiefs? Obviously, the heavy favorite is yes, minus 1,000. No, plus 650. Head to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code CAM120 and lay down your bets for this line. It's an interesting one. I'm probably going to hammer yes. I don't see Ben Roethlisberger missing this football game. It sounds like it's just regular football wear and tear here. We're not talking about something where the doctors will say, hold on, Ben, let's not put you out there. No, I think it's really a pain tolerance type of thing there with Roethlisberger. Now, am I saying play Big Ben in FanDuel this week? Well, you could use the same logic as with Aaron Rodgers. They may not be 100%, but they could still be effective, and nobody is going to own those players. So that's what you call a contrarian play. That's how you stick out in these big GPP games, right? The grand prize pool games out there. So go ahead and play for yourself. FanDuel.com/chatsports. Use that promo code chatsports for $20 free when you deposit $5. Go ahead and play Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger in your fantasy games this week and challenge me on Twitter at Mr. Rogers99 if you think you can take me down. As for the selection, by the way, I do have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning this football game. I'm not all that confident that Mahomes can get it done in the big ketchup bottle in Pittsburgh yet. All right, let's go to Miami and the Jets here. How about this? The Jets are the favorites. There you go, New York, -3. Miami on the road, coming off a victory, solid one at that, against the Tennessee Titans. The Jets stunned the world after beating the Detroit Lions in the Motor City there. What I'll say about this game is Josh Sitton is actually done for the year. Star guard there for Miami. That's very concerning if you're a Dolphins fan out there. With that said, this is going to be a very gross, ugly, bottom feeder AFC East kind of game here. 17-10, your final score. Can Sam Darnold do it again? I don't know. So that's why I'm going to go with Miami, the veteran team. I think Ryan Tannehill looked really good last week. Watch out for Kenny Stills on that offensive side at wide receiver. Give me the Dolphins, 17-10. It's not a pretty one, but I think Miami gets that victory. Let's go to Buffalo and the Chargers here. The Bills are, wow, big-time underdogs. By 7, of course, the Chargers are on the road here. Over-under set at 43. And with the Chargers here coming off a loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, it was a bit of a stunner. I picked LA to win that game. They didn't pan out all that well. I have them winning this week quite handedly. 26-9, your final score. I don't even know if Buffalo can score a touchdown. I think it's 3 field goals and see you later. Like, you saw Buffalo against my Ravens last week, guys, and now they're starting Josh Allen, who is not even close to playing at the quarterback position in a starting capacity in the NFL yet. Not even close. So I'll take the Chargers with confidence in this one. If you're playing in your survivor pool this week, and if you're not out like I am, go with the Chargers. That's a sneaky good pick there because the Bills, rookie quarterback, all of this, no thank you. I'm out on that. So I'll go with the Chargers handedly there. Big matchup here, folks. Let's go to it. Minnesota and Green Bay. It's a pick'em. You would think BetDSI is probably waiting on the status of Aaron Rodgers here. So go ahead, chatsports.com/bet and bet away on that before the line changes. This is a matchup, of course, of NFC North supremacy here. And with the Minnesota Vikings, a team that I think will be the number 1 seed in the NFC, this is a huge matchup for them because they need to prove to the rest of the league the Packers aren't the kings of the North. We are. Aaron Rodgers is not the king of the North. We are. Now, Aaron Rodgers' status is very much up in the air as we stand, so I have him as a key player if he plays. Devontae Adams is actually dealing with an injury as well, and Tramon Williams, he needs to shut down Stephon Diggs and or Adam Thielen. Meanwhile, Kirk Cousins is your guy for Minnesota along with Stephon Diggs. And Harrison Smith, who picked off Jimmy Garoppolo last week, he's going to have to do the same against either DeShone Kizer or Aaron Rodgers this week. I absolutely love the Minnesota Vikings this year. And I think they get the victory 28-10. Now, this is me assuming Aaron Rodgers does not play because that's where I'm leaning right now. I don't think he suits up for the Green Bay Packers, dealing with that knee injury there. I think it's DeShone Kizer. And if it is, it could even be 31, 33, 35-10 because Kizer is just not a good quarterback. You saw it on Sunday Night Football for a brief amount of time there. So give me Minnesota there on the road. Big-time victory for the Vikings. They go to 2-0. Cleveland, New Orleans. Interesting matchup here. The Saints are favored by 9. Now, how about this? Last season, the Saints began the year 0-2 and advanced to the playoffs after becoming the first team in the Super Bowl era to win 8 consecutive games following an 0-2 start. So even if they lose to Cleveland, there's still hope for New Orleans because they've done it before in terms of making the postseason. Now, Michael Thomas, coming off a big-time game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, recorded a career-high 16 receptions for 180 yards and a touchdown, the most by a player on kickoff weekend in NFL history. Who wins this game? Your eventual Super Bowl champions, of course, the New Orleans Saints, 35-19 is your final score there. I don't think Cleveland has enough firepower in this game to get it done. I like New Orleans a lot at home to bounce back. If they can't beat Cleveland at home, boy, I sure will look like a moron for picking them to win Super Bowl 53. Now, again, like I said, there's hope if they start 0-2, but if you lose to the Browns, not good for your long-term prognostications there. All right, let's go to San Francisco taking on the Lions. A lot of 49ers fans watching the show, I'm sure. The 49ers are the favorite here by 6, probably because Detroit stunk up the joint a week ago against the Jets there on Monday Night Football, at home, might I add. I think the 49ers win this game here. I think they're in fine position to get after Matt Stafford. That offensive line did not look very good in week 1. Solomon Thomas has to step up in this football game. I need to see something from him, and I think we will. I think we'll see a couple sacks, maybe a sack from him. He's going to make a couple plays, though, to make sure that, the 49ers get the return on investment with this guy. Meanwhile, Richard Sherman and Ahkello Witherspoon matching up on those wide receivers, Golden Tate and Marvin Jones for Detroit. Interesting matchup to watch there on the outside. But give me San Francisco here. I don't know who the Detroit Lions are yet. I don't know their identity. I know who the 49ers are. They like to run the football with the zone blocking scheme. They like to do the play action off of Jimmy Garoppolo, get him outside the pocket, throw the football down the field to Goodwin if he's healthy, and Pierre Garçon and George Kittle. I know who the 49ers are. The Lions with Matt Patricia here, I just don't know. And there are reports out there that players don't like the rules by head coach Matt Patricia and all of this stuff, so I'll stay away from the drama. Give me San Francisco, 28-23. It's me, back from the future. They win this game at home. All right, let's stay in the NFC West here, talk about the Rams and the Cardinals. Now, if you're betting on BetDSI, I don't like this line. I think you go Arizona, actually, because the Cardinals are a better team than what they showed last week against the Redskins there. That I can tell you. Because Sam Bradford is a quality quarterback. They have David Johnson. They have Larry Fitzgerald. They have talent on that defensive side. I think they'll be fine in terms of competing in this game. I don't think it'll be a 13-point deficit. With that said, of course, I will take the LA Rams here. Only a 7-point deficit, 27-20, your final score. The Rams just have so much firepower, guys. On the offensive side, of course, but especially on that defensive side. I mean, one matchup that I want you guys to really track here is at center for Arizona. They lost A.Q. Shipley for the entire season. And so when you have that, a backup center going up against Ndamukong Suh and, of course, Aaron Donald as well, yeah, no thank you. All right, so I'll go with L.A. in that one, 27-20. All right, let's go to the Patriots and the Jaguars here. Big-time matchup, folks, because this could come down to who gets home field advantage throughout the playoffs in the AFC. Like, it's going to be that tight. So for the Patriots, they want to repeat what they did in the AFC Championship game last year. The Jaguars, of course, want their revenge. And here's the problem. Like, Jalen Ramsey, this is my problem with him. He's giving the Patriots bulletin board material by saying that Tom Brady doesn't suck, and by saying that Rob Gronkowski can be stopped if you put a cornerback on him. Do we learn anything? Does anybody observe people calling out the Patriots and then see what happens? It's never good. Like, again, I'm not a Patriots fan, not even close. But I can tell you that bulletin board material for Bill Belichick, oh my God, he eats that up. He loves that stuff. The us against the world mentality, they love that stuff. So I'm going to cautiously predict this game here and say the Jaguars win 24-23. I think Yannick Ngakoue and Malik Jackson and Calais Campbell get after Brady, but it's going to be tight. So the Jaguars better be ready for a dogfight, especially from Rob Gronkowski. All right, AFC West matchup here. Denver taking on the Oakland Raiders. Boy, did Oakland look bad on Monday Night Football, guys. And, you know, it's funny. A couple months ago, I was saying that this team could go to the Super Bowl. That was all before, of course, they botched the Khalil Mack situation, and now I really just question their overall leadership of this franchise. Denver looks like a legit playoff team, at least going off of week 1, and we can't draw drastic conclusions. But I did predict the Broncos would win the AFC West. So I'll go Denver in this game, 23-10. Derek Carr needs a bounce-back game, folks, because there are question marks out there about his ability to be a franchise quarterback, and people are like, well, is Derek Carr overrated? I don't think he's overrated. Is he overpaid? Of course, but like every quarterback these days is overpaid. It's all relative now. So I think Denver gets after Derek Carr. That offensive line for the Raiders has to be better too. A lot of talent, especially on that interior with Assembly and Hudson and Gabe Jackson as well. They need to have a better game. All right, so Denver wins that one 23-10. Big matchup, Sunday Night Football. Giants, Cowboys, Jerry's World, NBC, Arlington. Cowboys are favored by 3 here. So, interesting game. So, with another 100 performance by Mr. Saquon Barkley on the ground, via the yards, of course, if he does that against the Dallas Cowboys, Barkley can become the first rookie since 2005 with at least 100 rushing yards in each of his team's first 2 games of the season. Now, who did that back in 2005, rushing for back-to-back 100-yard games? Cadillac Williams. Remember him? So there you go. Saquon Barkley, I think, will be a big part of the offense for the Giants in this game, obviously. Odell Beckham Jr. will make some plays as well. I got the Giants 27-17, actually. I don't think this game will be close. You look at the Cowboys from week 1, I have no faith in that passing attack. This prediction is solely based off of the playmaking ability. Who can make better plays on the offensive side in this game? The New York Giants. Eli Manning, Odell Beckham Jr., Saquon Barkley. I'll take them over Ezekiel Elliott, Allen Hurns, and Dak Prescott. Nothing against Zeke. He's probably the best out of that trio there. But Dak and Allen Hurns and that cast of wide receivers there, I don't have a lot of faith in them. I always have faith in FanDuel, folks. You should be playing Eli Manning this week against the Dallas Cowboys. Head to FanDuel.com/chatsports. Use that promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 free when you deposit $5. $20 for free, ladies and gentlemen. So get it done. Challenge me on Twitter, by the way, at Mr. Rogers99 there. You can play for free entry. And if you win my game, you get $50 for free. So there you go. Be sure to hit me up on Twitter. All right, and then finally, the Bears and the Seattle Seahawks. Bears are the favorites here by 3.5. Monday Night Football. This is really tough to predict. I don't have a lot of faith in the Seattle Seahawks this season. I don't think they're going to be a very good football team. So give me Chicago. Lockdown defense. I like that offense as well with Matt Nagy now as the head coach. 21-10 your final score. So let's summarize all my predictions. I had Baltimore last night. Got that wrong. Give me Washington. Tennessee over Houston. Philadelphia over Tampa Bay. Pittsburgh beats the Chiefs. Miami beats the Jets. The Chargers take down the Bills. Vikings over the Packers. Give me the Saints over the Browns. 49ers win for the first time this year. Rams over the Cardinals. You got the Jaguars over the Patriots. Broncos over the Raiders. Giants on Sunday Night Football. Got the Carolina Panthers, by the way, beating the Atlanta Falcons. And then the Bears win on Monday night. 7-9 so far, folks. I got to get a lot better in my picks. Be sure to vote, folks. And we'll be tracking what you guys predict as well.